Sup, Swaggets? Star Wars The Force Awakens. Probably the most financially successful film of all time. And a needed reboot to the Star Wars franchise. However, despite the movie's overall success, it seems fans and critics alike couldn't help but see the movie's faults. Even the people who loved the movie, myself included, had their fair share of nitpicks with the film. Many people have repeatedly bashed the movie for underutilizing characters, a similar plot to The New Hope, and for me, possibly the worst mistake in the movie, not bringing back Jar Jar Binks. Come on guys, he's the key to all this.
Jar Jar is a key to all this.
Of course, this movie being a Star Wars movie was going to receive some slack no matter what, but what this video will aim to do is to tweak the movie slightly to solve some of the complaints with the product. So, let's get into it. First off, I'll really only be tweaking the end of this movie, as I think the start is rather brilliant and it blends both the old and the new together seamlessly. But I will open the movie with this. On the Screen Junkies show, Max Landis, an annoying screenwriter with an equally annoying voice, brought up the first great idea he's probably ever had in his life. The idea was that at the start of the movie, the First Order stormtroopers are heading down to Jakku, and the stormtrooper next to Finn sees his blaster shaking in his hand. Finn explains that it is his first day on the field and that he's a bit nervous. The stormtrooper explains to Finn that he should just follow him and everything will be alright. Of course, as the stormtrooper Poe shoots down. This would have added not only to the human element of the stormtroopers, but it also would have explained Finn's defection quite well. It also helps to know Max Landis has a brain. Now if only he could use it to write his movies. Another scene that bothered me towards the start of the movie was the scene where Finn mercilessly guns down his fellow stormtroopers in the hangar. This scene turns me the wrong way. It's a little scene that could be overlooked, but as I'm changing stuff, I would have at least added a moment of hesitation before he blew his friends and allies to smithereens. So now we're gonna skip ahead to the juicy part, Starkiller Base. Besides the greatest character in modern cinema not coming back, this was the movie's biggest problem for me. It kind of makes the bad guys comical to the point of extremity, that they would keep building Death Stars with an easily identifiable weakness. This subplot felt forced and on the nose and nearly ruined the movie for me. So you guys know we're changing it. Instead of the Death Star Part 3, Starkiller Base is instead just a base. The galaxy is at war after all, and Starkiller holds the First Order's most important leaders, General Hux, Kylo Ren, and possibly Snoke. This is a good enough reason to attack the base, but if the Rebels or the Resistance or the whatever need more convincing, Finn could tell General Leia that the rest of the map to Luke Skywalker is at the base. Because believe it or not, Snoke mentions in the movie how they have the rest of the map and all they need is the final piece in BB-8. This would still allow for Finn to go to the planet's surface and to find Rey under the guise of finding the map and would allow for the battle in the skies to take place. To add even more urgency, maybe Starkiller Base has anti-air cannons and the squadron needs to take them out if the rebel fleet wants to join the action. The explanation of the plan to destroy Starkiller would also give us, or me, or J.J. Abrams, or whatever, an opportunity to explain the Star Wars universe and the state that it's in. Someone could pull up a map and say, this is where Starkiller is, in this section of the galaxy, controlled by First Order, and this is where we are, in this section of the galaxy, controlled by the Resistance. And there, done, now everyone gets it. Anyway, off we go to Starkiller Base. As the X-Wings and the Millennium Falcon pull out of hyperspace, they are immediately greeted by anti-air laser fire. The X-Wings are too small to be picked up by the cannons, but the bigger and bulkier Falcon is still a target. So for the last time before his gut-stabbing demise, we get to see Han Solo flying the Millennium Falcon in all his scruffy-looking nerf-herdedness. This is a thing strangely lacking from the real Force Awakens. Sure, Han Solo technically flies the Millennium Falcon through hyperspace, and he crashes it on Starkiller, but we never get to see him dodge laser fire and incoming TIE fighters. I know it's just a nitpick, but it rubbed me the wrong way. Another little nitpicky thing that I noticed on my third or fourth viewing was how there was a strange reluctance by the filmmakers to have any type of lasers hit the Millennium Falcon. Like in the scene where Rey's piloting the Falcon around Jakku. Not one shot from the TIE fighters lands. This stuck out to me because in the original trilogy, the Falcon was extremely durable, even being hit by a Star Destroyer blast and a meteorite. A small nitpick, sure, but once again this shows the bad guy's severe lack of competence unnecessarily. So, the Millennium Falcon plummets towards the planet and manages to avoid getting shot down by being so low or something, or whatever they said in the movie. The ship semi-crashes like in the movie, and like in the movie, Finn reveals that he has no idea how to get to the information storage room. They enact the same plan as they did in the movie, but instead of them attacking Phasma, it's some random officer, and it plays out more like this.
The Fire Lord's chamber is that way, down the hall to the left and up the stairs. You can't miss it.
Thanks.
From there, Finn, Han, and Chewie get the map, get Rey, and go towards the power generator, which, when blown up, would shut down the anti-air cannons. Things go ahead as they did in the movie, but we'll revisit Rey and Kylo Ren's battle later. Meanwhile, in the skies, Poe and his squad fly around taking out as many anti-air cannons as possible. Poe would once again show us why he's the best pilot in the galaxy, but even he isn't ready for a stray laser blast that clips his wing and sends him towards the ground. He crashes into the base, but comes out with barely a scratch on him. Movie logic, isn't it great? He gets to his knees and slowly helps BB-8 out of the wreckage. Then he could make a joke about how he's gotten too many X-Wings destroyed or something. BB-8 beeps and whirs and points his little lighter thingy towards something behind Poe. Poe turns around to see Captain Phasma and a small group of stormtroopers rushing towards the wreckage. Poe pulls out a blaster, takes cover behind the wreckage, and starts to pick off the stormtroopers one by one. Phasma is soon the last one left, and she raises her riot shield to block the blasts and wipes out her electric stick thingy. Poe's gun clicks as he sees it is out of ammo. Leaping over the X-Wing, he charges at Captain Phasma, who simply steps out of the way of his charge and jabs the electric stick into his ribs. Poe falls to the ground. As he tries to get up, Captain Phasma kicks him in the gut, causing him to fall back down. BB-8 goes to his master's aid by zapping Phasma in the leg, and Phasma simply kicks the ball droid away. But this simple distraction gives Poe enough time to get to his feet and attack. He sends a kick into Phasma's chest and rips away her stick thingy and her shield. Soon the two get into an all-out brawl, punching and kicking. This might be too violent of a thing to happen in a movie for families, but it can't be any more brutal than Kylo essentially mind-torturing Poe and the execution of all the villagers at the start of the movie. This fight would obviously take a backseat to the main story, which is all about Kylo Ren, Rey, Han Solo, and Finn. But at least it would give these two characters something to do, unlike in the movie. Talking about the main story, after Han Solo dies, Chewie activates an explosive set around the perimeter of the power generator. Without the power, the anti-air cannons go down and Starkiller essentially goes offline. The Resistance fleet jumps out of hyperspace. We get a close-up of Leia, who's on the bridge of one of the Resistance starships, who says with pure anger in her voice, "All fleets, fire at will." Unopposed, the fleet starts decimating the base. Captain Phasma, who seems to be winning her brawl with Poe, looks up and sees this. Poe, beaten and tired, looks up at her and manages to grin. "Looks like you've lost." Captain Phasma, seeing the First Order has lost the battle, turns to Poe. "Until next time." Then she hightails it out of there. Poe gets BB-8 and lights up a flare. His squad see him and get him out of there. Now let's go back to Rey and her fight with Kylo Ren. People have problems with this fight mainly because of how it ends. When Rey is backed into a corner, she manages to pull on the Force and defeat Kylo Ren, a supposedly well-trained swordsman. Although I think it could be interesting seeing what they could do with this concept, I do agree that it could potentially ruin the tension if Kylo Ren and Rey would ever to fight again. I actually have two ideas on how to fix this. Comment below on which one you prefer. Rey calls on the Force to help her push back Kylo Ren, not necessarily defeat him. She grabs Finn, and with the help of Chewie and the Millennium Falcon, they barely manage to escape. Kylo hears his master telling him to get Hux and get out. Now this is taken from the novelization of The Force Awakens, and to be honest I don't know why it was cut out of the movie. So Rey calls on the Force and fights back against Kylo Ren. All the while she can hear Snoke in her head, telling her to embrace the dark side and kill Kylo Ren. As we see in the movie, she nearly does, but instead turns away. Kylo Ren grins as Rey runs into the forest to find Finn. He yells after her, "You would make a good Sith!" That was awful. Anyway, so there you go. I don't really know of any other ideas on how to fix the movie. So, roll credits, I guess. If you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't, and you think I'm just some crazy person talking to a camera, well then you'd be right. At the moment I'm working on making how the Phantom Menace should have been, but I'm still only in the writing phase as I've been writing and rewriting the story over and over again. I'm also planning on putting out what the Boba Fett anthology movie should be, but I haven't even started writing anything for that. So anyway, see ya, swaggots!